Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another Gooner Gathering. Yes, it's your Thursday night firework display. Here we go. Gooner Lee Meads, Lee Meadows, in the hot seat with the poshest man in all of sports entertainment. Posh Bertie, hello.
Hi, hello. Oh, well, today's been all right because I didn't have to watch us play.
That's good.
It doesn't change the fact that I am going to have to talk about what happened last night. And I am, I'd say I'm looking forward to it, but I have to talk about a disaster. So let's just say hello to everyone in the chat first. AFC always.
Let's do it.
Says like as you enter and subscribe if you haven't already. Could not agree more, my friend. Yep. True Gooner is also in the chat saying, yo, lads. Yo to you as well, dude.
Yo, in it.
Right.
We're cool, honestly. So, all right, let's break it down, shall we? As in the words of DX, my high is in his as well. Good to see you. Right. Well, do you know what? The evening started very well, didn't it, Posh? Because for once, we agreed on something. The starting lineup.
You say it's a shock we agree on things. We agree on a lot more than you think. In some cases. But one of the things we did agree on in hindsight, one of the things we agreed on before the game kicked off was the starting 11.
Yes,
I thought the starting 11 was maybe arguments could be maybe we would have had Partey instead of Jorginho, but we'll get to Jorginho in a minute because I thought he was one of our better players. I thought the starting 11 before the game was excellent. I thought that would have been the starting 11 I would have gone for player, I think. Even the case of Saka, I would have had him there as well. But I think...
Write your slanderous comments on Twitter.
Yes, like I said, I expected him to start and I wanted him to be the star boy that we know he can be. But we'll get to Saka in a minute. And I'm not the most reactionary out there when it comes to Saka. We'll get to him in a minute. But I think the starting 11 itself before the game was excellent. Tomiyasu at left back, I was very pleased to see. Yes, I know he did get sent on his bum by Sané, Shockmaster style in the first half, but let's just ignore that. I thought starting 11 was very good.
At least his helmet didn't come off
before the game.
Shall we just go through the starting lineup real quick?
Yeah,
I know you guys probably seen it, but it's a case of doing things in order, right? Rayo in goal, of course. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, as we've mentioned, his first start in about 180 something days, apparently. It's been a while. I think
since he started.
Certainly was.
But yeah.
Odegaard, the captain, got through the fitness test that we mentioned on the preview. Jorginho, as Posh mentioned, I thought he was really, really good, especially in the first half. Declan Rice, Saka, Martinelli, and your boy Havertz were the starting lineups. So yes, that and Mahir in the chats. What happened, Arsenal? Well, we're going to go through it. Aren't
Lots of things happened, which we'll go into. And AFC always says, first half we were decent. The second half was like the way we were against Villa. Yeah, absolutely. First half, I actually thought we held our own quite well. And just capitulation in the second half. But, go on.
Thank you. So, let's talk about how quick Bayern started, first of all, shall we? Because they made their intentions quite clear. I like to think that we're quite balanced in how we try and talk about the opposition as best we can as well. So there's no escaping it. Sane, former Man City winger, of course, who ran us ragged, I think, at the Emirates. He started ever so quick again, didn't he? Had a bit of a jinking run. Then he play at the ball to wide right to Kimmich, who crossed it to Harry Kane and put a warning shot across Raya's goal. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. I thought Raya made a couple of decent saves, by the way.
Yes,
So
that's a good point
yeah,
to be made. Yeah.
if anyone tries to use Raya as a scapegoat for this defeat, I'm gonna literally come round their house and just bump them on the head. Anyway,
I wouldn't encourage violence.
no, I'll gently do it, like what you used to do when you were little, like an egg cracking, like that, you know.
Or like Timmy Mallet. You
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Mallet's Mallet style, yeah. Okay. But to be fair, I haven't seen any criticism aimed at Raya on Twitter for the small bit of time that I've been around on this Twitter sphere today, in fairness. Mind
No,
you, I knew
I've not seen it either, which is
that's
great because it's not his fault that we lost.
yeah, absolutely. Right. Some of these names I am not going to be super familiar with, so I am going to try. I'm just going to give a shout out to Carla Hahn, who's messaged me. Who's our friend from a long time ago over in Germany. He was going to join us, but he's on the phone to his dad at the moment. So big up to him. We'll have him on the show another time. I am going to try and put some pronunciation up on the screen for the Bayern players because I'm not too familiar. Right,
Don't
I
worry,
am.
I can be you can be Paul Merson and I can be the interpreter then.
I don't even know what I've written down here. Oshana, something like that. Good. Oh, that might be the number 8. The number 8, Gosana.
Oh,
That's
Goretzka.
maybe. Yeah, perhaps that's it. Had a long range drive. Well, ran and a drive. Raya saved, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Raya good in the game all the way through. I don't think there was any issues. We'll get to the goal in a bit, but I don't think there was any issues on his front. Hello, Niall Kane. By the way, I've just seen you in the chat there. There's a slight chance. Yeah. Let me just sorry. There's a slight chance. No English teams get to the later stages in Europe or in Europe. Hopefully, you guys get 300 subscribers. If anyone watches this live on the replay at Gooner Gathering on Demand, catch up on the YouTubes. Thank you, Niall.
Thank you very much.
He's on the payroll. That's what it is.
Yeah, him and AFC always.
Do you know what? We are one off. We are one off 300 subscribers now, guys. And, it's great to see some of the faces that always are coming in, either here live or on demand. It's always very much appreciated. We never throw it down your throat, shall we say? We just publicize it out on our normal Twitter page, shall we say? So it's authentic, and we love you coming in and supporting us.
Yeah, can I just speak about this comment there? It all depends on what happens in the Europa League or Europa Conference League. The Villa game against Lille has gone to extra time, thanks to a Matty Cash. I say late equaliser. The real score is 2-1 to Lille, but on aggregate, it's 3-3, I believe. That game is in extra time. West Ham could pull off a miracle against homed by Leverkusen. Who knows? Yeah. And who knows what happens to Liverpool? They could do what they did against Barcelona. Anything can happen in the World Football Federation. So it's, yeah.
Liverpool have got it all to do tonight, haven't they?
If West Ham and Aston Villa have a better season in Europe instead than us, then heads are going to roll. That's all I'm going to say.
And you mentioned, I just said that Liverpool have got it all to do. Well, they couldn't have started any better because Mo Salah's put them one up in Atlanta through a penalty.
There we go.
They needed a quick start, and they have it. So, we'll keep an eye on the scores as they happen, perhaps as we go along. Let's talk about the. It wouldn't have been a surprise, of course, being away from home in Germany, that Bayern had a lot of the ball. But I thought Arsenal did get themselves back into the game a little bit. And there was a spell roundabout on the half hour where we had a few chances ourselves, one of which was Martin Odegaard's effort that took a deflection. And it worked Neuer. It looked like the deflection caught him out a little bit. I thought Odegaard, again, as a captain, out there, I thought he had a pretty decent game. What did you think?
As far as I remember, okay, you've not froze. That's good.
I'm still here
for a minute. I thought that was as far as I can remember, that was our best chance of the whole game in the first half. And Odegaard managed to test Neuer.
Yeah, sorry, I was just doing my doink.
Okay.
I just confused you because I froze. That's what it was, mate.
No, I think as far as I remember, that was probably our best chance of the game. That first half. Yeah, Martinelli defensive work in the first half. Yeah, I thought a lot of our players did all right in the first half, but it's the second half we're going to get to in a minute. It felt like a 180-degree turn.
And it's like AFC always knew what my next note said, because about 2 minutes later after the Odegaard effort, Jorginho found Odegaard, who crossed it, nice simple cross to Martinelli, who actually, had he put it either side of Neuer, might have scored. That was probably the clearest opportunity we had.
But no, we did test Neuer a bit in the first half, but he managed to pull off some good saves as well. And obviously, Manuel Neuer is a veteran of the business and a very, very great, brilliant goalkeeper.
Yeah, I don't think we can find the superlatives to put on the German number one. To be fair, can we really? I think it's probably fair to say, though, yeah, we had a few efforts in the first half. The efforts in the second half, yeah, I think you're probably right in saying they were a bit sparse. Let's go through what happened in the second half. Yes, I think I've got the pronunciations right here. Literally about a minute into the second half. Yeah, I see your comment, and I'm going to get to it. Sane and Kimmich combined. Gotzella headed the ball, hit the post. Guerrero hit the post as well. I mean, that was literally straight out the traps in the second half. That was a worrying start for us.
Yeah, I think that just rattled us a bit, and it made our heads go. And the second half was awful. I think it was awful. I know. Look, I don't, contrary to popular belief, I don't mind losing to a better team as long as we actually put up a fight and say, yeah, okay, we lost, but at least we tried. At least we actually put some effort in. We didn't do that at all in the second half. It looked like we gave up. And that is what disappoints me the most. And that's not, as Arsenal's Twitter account put it, something to be proud of. Capitulating in the second half is not something to be proud of. If we lost, but if we put up a fight in the second half, not just the first, if we actually said, let's try our best and actually stop not want to lose, then yeah, that was something to go, okay, we did our best. But we didn't in the second half, which is like it was capitulation. It was like Villa all over again.
I know where you're coming from, and I do understand it. I might put it another way. I'll bring up AFC always comment first, saying just weren't clinical enough. That's what cost us. Do you know what? I've got an opinion that I don't think yesterday's game was the one that cost us. I think it was perhaps the missed chances at the Emirates that probably cost us, plus a defensive lapse or two in the first game. That's what I think.
I think the 2-2 draw at the Emirates, where we had the crowd advantage anyway, and that was it was that. When I thought a 2-2 draw at the Emirates, I thought, yeah, it's an uphill battle from here, but at least let's actually climb that hill all the way rather than just slide down it in the second half.
Run up that hill. Sorry,
if I can't beat you, I have no career. Sorry, and anyway, let's.
Well, you know, I mean, if you want to pinpoint it, there's a Ben White chance in the first leg that he definitely should have scored with, but that's not his specialist subject, to be fair.
I said in that when we did the review, if that was one of our attackers, even if that was Kai Havertz, I think that would have gone in.
Yeah, I probably agree with you there. And I know what you mean. I don't think some of our players, we'll get into some specifics in a minute, but some of them they just seem to, particularly wide players, lost a bit of the zip, and it wasn't until maybe we made a few changes that maybe there was a little bit of a change, but we'll get there in a minute. All right, we'll go through the comment here. Right, I've got a comment there and I've got something on there. Okay. Right, sorry, right. I put this up. So what is Arteta saying to the team at halftime in both games with Villa and Munich last night? We looked a different team and we were playing in the first half. Sorry. What do you want to respond without being sarcastic?
I got no response then, because I would have made a joke about light bulbs and energy or whatever he did in the documentary. But no, I don't know. I think a lot of the blame as well has to be down on his in-game management, in particular his substitutions. Because just like Villa and Bayern, those substitutions were monumentally shocking. And I'm sure we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. Let's go to the Bayern goal, shall we? And we'll sort of can try and dissect that a little bit. The goal has come from so the ball's on the right, on the Bayern right, and it's the boy Sane again, whose initial cross, Raya punched and tried to get it clear. It's gone on to the left-hand side, and Guerrero controlled it, settled himself down, put a great cross in, and it was Kimmich with the bullet header, literally about 6 yards out. My thoughts on this one is because the play was twofold, right? We had the initial cross and then the punch out from Raya, and there were people running all around the place. I think people were in completely wrong positions, because if you look at it, it looked to me like Martinelli was the one that was closest to Kimmich, and that was a mismatch and a half for me. Don't know if how you felt, but then they were out of position, and the lad had an easy jump and to throw his head at the ball for the goal.
The first goal was coming, but I was that. I just thought, based on how he responded, that was it. I thought, but yeah, Joshua Kimmich 1-0 to Bayern, and it was going to be a long uphill battle from here, because based on some of what we were like in the second half, I didn't see us coming back from it, and sadly, I was right. So, yeah, but there's a lot to pack, a lot to blame for the second half performance that made us go 1-0 down.
Okay, so yeah, we've conceded the goal there, and I think on the conceding of the goal, we kind of changed the approach a little bit, and you might argue where some of the control, some of our possession kind of went. So this is what we did. The double change.
Just going to say that West Ham have just taken the lead against Bayer Leverkusen. So there's a high chance now that West Ham, yet again, are going to have a better time in Europe than we are. Brilliant. All
right. As if you didn't wind me up this time last year enough for the West Ham comment. Devon's here. Hello. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Fellow member on the Wrestle Dogs channel.
Yeah.
We'll get the next one. Go sports team.
Maybe next year. Again.
Well, we're still fighting for this title, and you know what? We got to go to. Sorry. Let me just clear my throat. I think I just turned into Kevin Keegan. We got to go to Wolverhampton, and we got to get something. And I'd love it if we beat them. Right, let's get serious for a minute. We're trying to make you laugh, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's all been doom and gloom today, right? So, look, first change, Jorginho off Jesus, and Martinelli, of course, was coming back from his injury. I thought Martinelli was running out of gas a little bit in the second half, so that's why they changed him for Trossard. You feel that was the wrong change? Question mark?
I think Martinelli was not looking good anyway. No, I think all of our attacking players were shocking. The Trossard sub, I don't blame for that. But it's the thing. It's look, I know Jorginho was one of our best players in that game, but I could see why he was going to come off because he can't play full 90 minutes with the stamina he has now. But I would have substituted him for Partey. We needed a bit of a physical presence in that second half. But instead, Arteta, in his infinite wisdom, brings on Gabriel Jesus, who nowadays can't score to save his life, and he basically brings Havertz in midfield because that always works, doesn't it? So that's again terrible in-game management. Why didn't Partey come on for the physical presence? I don't get it. It's terrible in-game management. Havertz in midfield against Bayern. That's not going to work at all.
I'll kind of respond to it, and you probably ain't going to like the answer. I think the answer is that I don't think Arteta believes the Partey's gonna do it. I don't think he thinks he's gonna. How can I say? Look, he had a great season before his injuries last season. Don't get me, and we commentated on some of it as well. There was some great moments last season. He's just had that real long time away, and I don't think the trust is there. I don't even know. Do we know if he's fully fit? I don't know. But the change he did make was in an effort to put some of our attacking players on. It didn't work out, obviously. But I will defend to a point.
I would rather have Thomas Partey in midfield than Kai Havertz. Devon says nobody thought the Cleveland Cavaliers would come back from being down 3-1 in the NBA Championship, but they did. I believe in you guys. Well, that second, that we had the second leg, and that's over. So, look,
but maybe Devon means it means that he believes that we can pull our socks up, go to Molineux on Saturday, and then sort of pull this Premier League thing out.
Maybe Devon should be our manager then. But yeah.
He is the top dog.
I'd back that. But yeah, look, we'll see what happens. But I've been an Arsenal fan for long enough to know that it is the history of the Arsenal. And I don't think... and my NBA knowledge isn't that good either, apart from there's a bloke called LeBron James who's like very good. So that's all I know about the NBA, Devon, I'm afraid.
And we know Miz is from Cleveland. So, that apart from that. So obviously the highlights of the game I'm trying to sort of cut down to a little bit, only because I've sort of rewatched it on the YouTube highlight of it. We did finish with some sort of fanfare or some sort of crescendo, but so this is the last couple of minutes that we'll talk about. Right, so we'll go from the 87th minute. This Jesus picked up the ball, gave it to Saka on the right-hand side. He didn't do anything spectacular here, Saka. He just gave it to Ødegaard. Ødegaard managed to weave his way into that penalty area, had a fantastic shot that was really well saved by Neuer. No, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say, not yet. But that was a decent effort on goal.
No, I think it was. That was the only chance we had in the second half. But yeah, we got ourselves a corner, which we'll get to. But that was the only effort we had in the second half.
We should have got ourselves a corner from that, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but that corner in the last minute where we took it short for whatever stupid reason. Anthony Herbert says, big up, lads. First half was good. Second half was very bad. I don't know if I can say that word on a family-friendly channel. It's not a bad
It was rubbish.
Anyway. The subs Arteta made, I didn't get. But you look at the subs he made, the formation went from 4-3-3 to a 3-2-5 formation. What was Arteta thinking? I mean, we are going to touch on one substitution. I was on the phone to my good friend Laken, who is a Man United fan, part of Gooner Gathering alumni as well. He was on in the background. When Eddie Nketiah came on, we were both in fits of laughter. Honestly. Right. Put the gimmick aside for a minute. Just please, okay? Put your Nketiah loving just behind you for a minute.
I'm letting you talk.
at
Yeah.
the Allianz Arena. We
The boyhood
desperately
dream
need
had come
a
true.
goal, and we bring on Eddie Nketiah. Make it make sense. I'm trying not to shout, but make it make sense.
Well,
Why?
what do you want to do? Do you want to bring Zinchenko on?
Do you know what? I'd rather have Smith Rowe than Nketiah. I don't honestly anyone but Eddie. ABE, anyone but Eddie. Put Zinchenko. If you want to bring Zinchenko on, put him in midfield.
Yeah. I believe we had that discussion as well, didn't we?
But I'd rather have him up front over Nketiah. You know,
it's a bit harsh on the boy, isn't it? We'll get to it. We'll get to that. Putting the bit down for a minute. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like, I've got no other choices really. I mean, who wasn't used? I mean, all right. So we could have put. What other attacking options did we have? We had ESR, Vieira, Nelson. Yes.
The Aston Villa game has gone to penalties. Villa are ahead on penalties because Lille have had a shot saved by Emi Martinez. However, Emi Martinez has just been sent off during a penalty shootout.
What? I've never seen that before.
As Football Score Centre says, I have never seen anything like this. Emi Martinez has been shown a red card during a penalty shootout.
It got booked during the game. I know that much.
Right. I don't know what's happened there, but that we'll I'm sure we'll hear more of that when that game is all said and done. But we'll just focus on this now. But that's a bit weird anyway.
So I'll give you a theory without seeing it on the Emmy thing. If he's moved off his line in the penalty shootout, that's encroachment. So that's potentially a yellow card. So if he's already on a booking, that might have been a second yellow card. That's the theory.
Okay. Might have been off his line then. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll certainly look at it, and they certainly do have a goalkeeper. Whether they're to bring one on at this stage, I don't know. Right. Anyway, we're sorry. What an interesting situation that is. Right. We'll be watching the highlights of that later. Right. So yes, Ødegaard's effort brilliantly saved by Neuer. Now, I'm not going to play the card that we were screwed. But there was a couple of a little bit of questionable decisions on how something was so clear as that shot being saved by the goalkeeper. Even Ødegaard's just taken the ball. He's going to put it on the. It was so clear, and the referees, the linesman, everybody around didn't give anything. Do you have a comment? It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
We had a chance to redeem that in the very last minute when we had a corner, but Saka decided to take it short instead of whipping one in, and hopefully a defender can head it in and get a last minute equaliser.
I mean, I do recall one in the very last seconds where it sort of
that one. I think, yeah, it was that one.
It did bring it. It was a long corner, but it was a little bit weak, and kind of goes in within my theory of what I was saying, that I just think he was just out of gas, completely out of gas. He couldn't even put the ball in with any sort of pace that avoided him. There was another incident where maybe Saka's head wasn't there properly. And do you know when I can't remember who it was, Ødegaard might have been taken down, the free kick, which we could have had a direct shot at goal to, literally a minute to go. But instead, they tried to be a bit smart and clever with it and just take it quick, and it just ended up in a mess where we should have a little bit of composure might have been good.
Yeah, the corner, was a bit of a mess, and I just think it should have been. Yeah, I could argue was. Yeah, Saka.
Yeah.
You could argue he was tired, but it's just frustrating seeing, and the fans bring it on themselves, making all these comparisons. Yeah. You see Saka getting tired and having a terrible game again, Meanwhile, Phil Foden and Cole Palmer, when it matters, are just blitzing it left, right, and centre. The fans bringing on themselves, really. But Saka, not most of 2024 has not been at his best. Let's be honest. And also, it's worth noting, Declan Rice had his worst game for us today, and that's a rare thing, because Declan Rice has been our best player this whole season, but he had a poor game last night, and that's unfortunate to say. Hopefully, he won't be like that come in more games, because I want Declan still. We paid 105 million for him. We want him to perform when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair. If it's one game that he's had a bit of a poor one in, and if you look at the people are going to say it's the worst Bayern side in years, right? And
I think it's disrespectful to say that.
Yeah, what I was going to say is because they've won the title, right, for so many years, and obviously Leverkusen pick up the Bundesliga the other day. It's still a really good side up there. I mean, look, I'm not super familiar with all of them, but you've got world-class names. They're names that we know from Premier League era, from Sane and of course Harry Kane, etc. There's some very good players in there. And
I have some more news on Emi Martinez gate.
He's got a reprieve.
Turns out he hasn't been sent off. It was a bit of a confusion. So that's going to be interesting to see when the highlights are uploaded. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say there. Anyway, it's not about Emi Martinez. He's not our goalkeeper. But
as much as you want him to be, he ain't.
Well, I'm just saying, David Raya wouldn't have done all these antics in a penalty shootout, but hey, Emi won a World Cup via a penalty shootout, so
he did. I
don't know.
That is true.
It's all right. It's all weird. Anyway, carry on.
So, like we say, so we've mentioned the subs and everything like that. Let's sort of bring up the players that weren't used at all. One thing I do agree with you about, you said on Twitter about Partey. He's leaving in the summer, isn't he? I think he probably is. And like I said, I think part of that. What do you think in the chat, by the way? Let me think your thoughts on Partey, about his football, whether is his time at Arsenal finished, etc. You know what I'm getting at. Just the football comments, please. Yeah. Other ones that not used: DSR, Vieira, Nelson, and of course my boy Eddie only got the last 3 minutes. So we looked tired at the end of the game. So I wondered, is it bold to say to people like Saka and Martinelli, I don't know, perhaps even Havertz, to say, look, okay, lads, I know you played on Wednesday. We might bring on some of the players that didn't feature at the Allianz Arena.
I think Saka, I know you can argue, yes, he's tired, and I get that, but he is in a bad run of form, and I actually do think that he needs to be dropped for a rest, I think. Saka does need to be dropped against Wolves. Martinelli's played on the right a couple of times. Maybe have that happen, and Trossard on the left. Yeah. Maybe, who knows? Maybe give Reece Nelson a go. I'm not sure. Probably Martinelli and Trossard as the wingers, I think. But
maybe
yeah. Well, I'm just glad that you're not the manager. Hey, Mikel Arteta, 0 wins at the Allianz. Posh Bertie, 1 win at the Allianz. I'm just saying. By the way, that series will come back. I just got to sort out my laptop because there's a bit of an issue with it. So
it will be back. Looking forward to
it. Just have a little patience, in the words of Gary Barlow.
Have a little patience.
Let's just say that win at the Allianz was not my idea of a very interesting day out. Anyway.
Okay. So, yeah, we've gone through that. Interesting comments by the manager at the end of the thing, and he was very clear on what he expects. And very much in the case of not giving up on the fight for the Premier League. And obviously, you're going to say, "Don't be stupid, Lee. You're deluded. You haven't got a clue." Blah 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 blah. Villa have beaten Leverkusen. Okay,
Lille is the team. So is that on penalties? There we go. Well, I've said Villa were going to win the Europa Conference League. Looks like that prediction's coming true.
Do you know what?
And
You actually
Unai
said
Emery's
that.
going to win another European trophy.
They've won 4-3 on penalties.
Mm.
And looks like Flammable Thursdays, your partner in crime, has just tweeted, "Gun down." Right.
Yes, I will be on Carl's YouTube channel at 10 p.m. So please go and check that out. I'm looking forward to appearing on it.
So listen, if you want a little spicier reaction, I'd probably expect that on Gundown's channel later on. This is Posh Bertie Unleashed, if you want, right? So, yeah, Arteta's comments about winning the league, he's saying the right things, and he's saying, and like I said, obviously City have got the FA Cup commitments. Let's not forget, by the way, it took Pep Guardiola a good few times winning the, get in the years in the Champions League to get their success in that competition. So yeah, we've just got to go and carry on. We've got to try and find some form from somewhere. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's all right. We all make mistakes. Listen, we're live on YouTube. When we make mistakes, we can come back and watch it and cringe.
But Leverkusen are losing to West Ham, although they're still winning on aggregate, I think. But West Ham are still winning 1-0. Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Just to close out on the Bayern thing and our Champions League efforts, for a side that is gaining experience as we get along, for a manager that this is his first time in the Champions League. It's a bit of a learning process. I know you're going to love that word, the process word. I know you're going to love it, right? But hear me out. We managed to get up to the quarterfinal stages for our first time having a go at this competition with this set of players. It probably highlights a few things. It highlights the fact that when you get chances in that elite competition, and it's very much a step up from the Europa League as well, by the way, that when you're in that competition, you have to take them chances when they get to you. And you probably need that Erling Haaland sort type striker to get you over the line. You might be able to get away, is that the right word, with maybe a sort of a lesser standard in the Premier League for some occasions. I'll give you my boy Nketiah getting a hat-trick in the Premier League against, was it Sheffield United? I think it was.
Yeah, Sheffield United.
Yeah. So maybe with a little bit more, we had a decent run in it. I think we probably said at the start of the season, quarterfinals minimum is what I think you might have said.
So I said the bare minimum for us would be top 2, quarterfinals of the Champions League, but we must win a domestic cup.
Right.
Carabao Cup, we were knocked out for the fourth round. FA Cup, third round against Liverpool. In fact, I have it here. I have it right here.
I'd seen it. I thought you might be bringing this up.
So we were awful in the domestic cups. So unfortunately, that was not the bare minimum expectations, I'm afraid. But also with Arteta, it was his terrible in-game management that cost us that game. In the second half, yes, we were poor in the second half, so some of the players are to blame. But the in-game management, the substitutions were shocking, absolutely shocking. Why? I know you're gonna be all Nketiah and everything. Why would you bring him on when he hasn't scored? Last time he scored was against Sheffield United, and he's been rubbish throughout ever since then. Why would you bring him on against Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena? Like, it blows my mind. I cannot believe that.
And it was last chance saloon, wasn't it? That's what it was, Posh. It was last chance saloon, and maybe a little bit of hope in there as well. one thing Eddie's not bad at is being an aerial target. That's probably what he was trying to do. Yeah, look, it is what it is. It was a last-ditch effort to try and retrieve the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But what it does do with the progress that we did make, it would have made the club a lot of moolah in terms of the television rights and gates revenue, etc. It does give us a little bit more to think about playing with in the transfer window in the summer for potential incomings. And yeah, there'll be outgoings as well. I'm sure of that. You're looking at me like when you saw I couldn't see you on the stream the other night when you literally rolled your eyes at me. Oh yeah, I watched it.
Doesn't make a difference. Did I roll my eyes at you? When did I do that?
When I was off camera and I mentioned 1989.
Oh, okay, because it's different types of players. We actually had players with a decent mentality back then. But look,
you see, you're writing them off already. Why don't you save that for after we're done in the Premier League season?
I will, much like how I put TBC for 23-24, because mathematically it isn't over, but
yeah,
let's be honest. Anyway, I think. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the transfer window. Look, even if we do get I said it's the same excuses. Oh, Saliba was injured last year. That's why he didn't win anything. Well, Saliba's back now. Oh, we don't have a striker. That's why. What if more likely we do get a striker, a good one at that in the summer, and Arteta bottles it again? What's going to be the excuse then? I'm sorry, but when you got this isn't the first time Arteta has made poor in-game management and poor substitutions. It happened against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and it happened. It happened last night. I'm sorry, but Arteta is to blame. And a good point was made. We have a good squad, great players, and we play great football, but we don't. Our manager is too inexperienced. I've used this analogy time and time again. It's giving the chief executive's job to the work experience boy in a major company. Right? Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool played great football, got them to where they got them competing again after quite a few seasons of absence from that, but he wasn't the manager to get them to that, get them over that line. And Liverpool got Klopp in, and now he's winning trophies. Okay? I mean, not in his final season, the Carabao Cup anyway, but he's won them a Champions League. He's won them a Premier League, okay? The same could apply to, Pellegrini and Roberto Mancini won the league with Man City. But when they couldn't get the squad over the line again, Pep came in, won them trophies. So it's happened, the same with Chelsea. When Ranieri was their manager, right? I know Abramovich kind of got them to where they were with the money he had. But when Ranieri was the manager, they had a good squad, couldn't get over the line. Beat the Invincibles in the Champions League, but still couldn't get over the line. Mourinho came in, won them trophies. We need a better manager with more experience that can come in and get this brilliant squad that we have of great promising players over that line. Arteta's not the answer.
You see that this is going to happen every single time that Arsenal lose a game, isn't it? Right? Is that how it's going to be?
Well, have a look at this and find out for yourself.
Yeah, I can read. Thanks, I can read, and I can also read this as well. Arteta's got us challenging for titles 2 years on the bounce, but one trophy, 4 seasons. With his own players, and he's won nothing. No, he's won the Community Shield and the MLS Challenge. I'm joking. Don't jump at me. I'm joking.
Well, look, it's worth noting we've won I've said this. This isn't just Arteta, but we'll go back to the Emery era as well. In those years, we've won the same amount of trophies in 7 years that Eric Ten Hag has won in 2 years as Man United manager. Mm-hmm. And we've got our fans laughing at United and Ten Hag for being rubbish. Well, he's won the same amount of trophies as Arteta and Emery has combined as Arsenal manager.
Very interesting. Well, let's see where we are at the end of the season, shall we? Because I feel we could go round and round in circles. I didn't. There's one thing I will bring up. And let me see if I can just find it on your Twitter, because the comparison that we'd become Tottenham. How would you explain that for me, please?
Well, we've become Tottenham because we think that we are a big club, as I said on Twitter, because we're amongst the others. We're in the same group, right? We're in the same group as the likes of Man City and Liverpool, okay? In the league, from first to third or whatever. And we play great football, and we've got great players in our squad. This squad reminds me of Tottenham under Pochettino, right? Although, to be fair to Poch, at least he got to a Champions League final with Tottenham. But it's our first season back in the Champions League. I get it, right? But when the going gets tough, we capitulate and bottle it when it matters the most. Despite how good our players are, despite how brilliant our football is, when the going gets tough, when it matters the most, we bottle it in spectacular fashion. That is what Tottenham do. The same thing that our fans laugh at Tottenham for, we are doing now. We're being Spursy. Now, I know that Tottenham's trophy drought is longer than ours. I get that. But we're going on a bit of a drought as well.
No, we picked it up in August.
Our fans just go ahead with it. Our fans say, oh, we're competing. We're challenging. We're playing great football, yippee! And that's all that matters. That's what Tottenham fans do. That's Tottenham's mentality. That's what we've become. We're Tottenham in red. That's what we are.
So did Pep bottle it last night then?
You might not like it, but it's the truth.
Did Pep bottle it last night then?
Pep's won a Champions League. Pep's won the Premier League.
Yeah, that's gone. That's
under the sun with Man City.
It doesn't count. No, because that's done. This is this season.
Well, Pep actually built some credibility.
All right.
Pep's built some brilliant credibility. And,
and also a dodgy bank account and 115 charges.
They've got the FA Cup that they could potentially win. The Premier League they could potentially win. So they're not going to walk away empty-handed, aren't they? If they go trophyless, then maybe maybe the City fans will ask questions. I don't know. But yeah. Good to see Devon in the chat, listening to me.
Yeah, I know what he's trying to say there. Oh dear. Well, look, that was fun, wasn't it? Listen, what we'll do. I don't know if we want to go too much longer on this because I don't want you. I want you to save yourself a little bit and. I want you to of course, plug what you're doing later on Gun Down channel. So why don't you you tell everybody about what you're doing later on and go for that. And
so at 10 p.m. British summertime, I will be on the Gunned Down YouTube channel. It'll be, I think, the third time I've been on there. And we will be discussing, much like today, we are discussing Arsenal's Champions League exit at the hands of Bayern Munich. And I think things are going to get very spicy. So be sure to tune into that and subscribe to Carl as well, youtube.com/gundown.
Thank you very much. So is it summer for us? Well, yeah, it's British summertime now. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I woke up very early this morning on my way to my day job, and it's blimming that 2 degrees Celsius outside. But yeah, apparently
it's what they call it when the clocks change, when the clocks go forward from April. It's nowhere near summer, I get that, but that's what they call it. British clocks go forward time. There you go. £105 million on 29 and Jesus combined gave Nketiah 100k a week. Whose fault is that? Yeah, Arteta gave Nketiah a new contract and he gave him Thierry Henry's number. Like, you can't tell me he was just doing that for the banter.
Flipping hell! Are we doing this again?
So I just think that Thierry Henry and Eddie
let it go. No, look, right, okay, with Nketiah, look, he signed a new contract. Of course he did. We could have let him go on a free transfer, but we didn't. Then we would have, if we had let him go, we would have been even shorter on striker options than we maybe already are. And we're turning on Havertz for one game when he's didn't have any of the service from Saka and Martinelli. Let's not forget the run again. He's been scoring lots of goals just prior to the Villa game. So, it's if he ain't getting the ball, we can't do much with it, can he?
No, Havertz. I mean, he probably shouldn't have gone back into midfield. That was on Arteta, I'm afraid, because Havertz is better as a striker than he is as a midfielder. So I'm not going to slander Havertz like today. I'm just going to say he should have been up front. He should have been up front instead of in midfield when the tactics were switched, and that was on Arteta.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I think I want to wrap it up about here anyway, because I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning, as you probably can tell. This isn't makeup. I'm not the Undertaker, really. So look, what I will say is, if I can tomorrow, I will try and get a video out when Arteta talks about does the press conference, and we'll see who's available and who's not. It's funny. Well, look, we're all going to have different opinions, and I could go back and forth with you all the time. AFC always. I'm just trying to wrap it up now, mate. All right, we're going to disagree, but let's agree to disagree. I think that's fair, right? So I'll try and get a video out tomorrow if I can. I do believe we're going to try and do the chat along on Saturday, where for 90 minutes plus, Posh will slander Havertz and give all sorts of sticks.
Absolutely. Saturday is a very, very, very important game that could determine the very future of our season. Boreham Wood versus Ebbsfleet United at 12:30 on TNT Sports. By the way, we're on TV on Saturday.
Go on, then do it.
Do a watch along. Oh, I tell you, next season, if Ebbsfleet face a big team in the FA Cup and it's on TV, I'd be tempted. If we go to the first round onwards, that is. But yeah, that game. Whoever loses that is getting relegated, in my opinion. So that game is make or break for both teams. That's a cup final for Ebbsfleet. It's a cup final for Boreham Wood. And speaking of Ebbsfleet, I want to say a good luck to Coventry on Saturday in the FA Cup against Man United. And why does that link with Ebbsfleet? Because Matt Godden plays for Coventry. He was a former Ebbsfleet striker, and he was a goal machine when he was with us. And I'm very pleased that hopefully I think he's their backup striker. I think he should be their starter. He's so good. But hopefully, if he turns up at Wembley and scores against Man United, when Tom Campbell celebrated when Grado appeared at All In, I am going to shamelessly celebrate Matt Godden, former Ebbsfleet striker, scoring a goal at Wembley if that happens. So good luck to him and Coventry against United on Saturday. And good luck to Ebbsfleet and good luck to Arsenal. There you go.
There you go. I think that's just about sums it up, everybody. Just to finish on the social medias. There we go. It's us there. There we go. Posh, where can they find you?
You can follow me, have a mental breakdown on Twitter at Posh Bertie, and my Instagram is at Bertie Wanless, and I also am the admin for Gooner Gathering's Instagram account.
Thank you very much for being here as always, Posh Bertie. It's always fun going back and forth with you. I'm going to go and have a lie down.
Love it.
Thank you very much. Of course, you can find the channel at Gooner Gathering on X. You can find me at Gooner Lee Meads. If any of you are interested in jumping in on one of our shows at some stage, drop me a message on either my personal or Gooner Gathering, and I will get back to you on there. Find us on the TikTok, and of course, we will be live at 7:20, I think, on Saturday for the watch along. It's a 7:30 kickoff, I believe. 7:30 kickoff. British summer time, allegedly. That will just about sum it up, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I need a sleep. I will see you later on, everybody. Love you, bye.